What if the internet suddenly vanished forever? Imagine this. You wake up one morning. Your phone is silent. No messages, no notifications, no updates. You turn on your computer, blank. Your TV, static. Your bank card, declined. And then the truth hits you. The internet is gone. Not for an hour, not for a day, but forever. What happens when the digital lifeline of our civilization suddenly disappears? Today, we step into that world. The scenario. The internet is not just a tool. It is the nervous system of our modern civilization, a web of over 40 billion devices, a network that carries 95% of global communications, business, and governance. And yet, what if, right now, it all vanished? Not a temporary outage, not a regional blackout, but a total, permanent collapse. This is not just about losing memes or social media. This is about losing the invisible infrastructure that keeps modern life alive. The moment it vanishes. The first hour would feel like chaos. Airplanes in the sky suddenly lose real-time communication. Ships at sea drift blind without GPS signals. Stock markets frozen mid-trade. Hospitals reliant on cloud servers suddenly lose patient data. Emergency systems collapse. And across the globe, silence replaces connection. Billions of people stare at dead screens. Confusion spreads faster than words can travel, because there is no internet left to explain what happened. Capabilities lost. The internet is more than a convenience. It is banking. It is food supply chains. It is medicine, transportation, government, defense. Without it, ATMs stop. Supermarkets cannot restock. Pharmacies cannot receive prescriptions. Air traffic controllers cannot guide planes. Entire nations depend on digital wires to keep their economies alive. Without those wires, economies collapse. And for billions of ordinary people, survival becomes the question. Historical and scientific context. To understand the impact, we must look backward. Before the internet, information traveled slowly. News spread through newspapers, telegraphs, radios, letters. Markets moved at the pace of ships and trains. Life was slower, but stable. But today, our systems are not designed for slowness. The global population, over 8 billion, relies on the speed of digital exchange. Remove that speed, and the fragile balance begins to crumble. We have created a civilization dependent on something we cannot see and cannot replace. Step-by-step consequences. Day 1. Panic spreads. Social media is silent. Banks freeze. Businesses halt. Emergency broadcasts return to analog radio. Day 3. Food shortages begin. Supply chains that once relied on instant communication break down. Supermarkets empty. Fuel distribution slows. Week 2. Governments declare states of emergency. With no online records, economies crash. The value of digital currency, online banking, and even modern stock markets evaporates. Month 1. Air travel grinds to a halt. Hospitals operate blindly without digital records or pharmaceutical logistics. Millions of people lose access to life-saving medications. Month 6. Global trade collapses. Nations retreat into local economies, rebuilding slower analog systems of communication. Letters, radios, physical networks return. But the population of the 21st century is too large for 19th century infrastructure. Scarcity leads to unrest. Year 1, the world is divided. Those who adapt survive. Those who cannot fall into chaos. Civilization resets to a slower rhythm, but at a devastating cost. The bigger picture. The internet is invisible. It exists in cables under the ocean, in satellites above the earth, in servers buried deep in data centers. It is fragile, and yet it holds the weight of our modern world. If it vanished, humanity would not go extinct, but the world we know would die. And in its place, a harsher, slower, more divided civilization would rise. We would learn to live without digital networks, but we would never forget the age of connection we once had. Conclusion. Reflection. The question is not just, what if the internet vanished forever? The question is, are we too dependent on something so fragile? Have we built our world on a foundation that could vanish in an instant? History reminds us that civilizations rise and collapse when their foundations fail. For us, that foundation is digital. And so we must ask ourselves, if tomorrow the internet disappeared forever, would humanity adapt or would we fall? Practical impact if the internet disappeared forever. Practical impact if the internet disappeared forever. Collapse of communication. Email, social media, WhatsApp, everything would stop. People would return to letters, radio, TV, and newspapers. Economic crisis. Banking, stock markets, and online businesses would shut down. The world economy would tremble. Loss of knowledge. Today's library is on the internet. Research, education, and vast amounts of data would vanish. Government and security breakdown. Military, airports, and traffic systems rely on digital networks. All would fall into chaos. Human behavior. At first, panic and disorder would spread, but gradually people would return to older ways of living. Biblical perspective. The Bible doesn't mention the internet directly, but it can be seen as a force of knowledge, communication, and global connection. Prophecy and increase of knowledge. Daniel 12:4. In the time of the end, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. The internet is the greatest tool for the rapid growth of knowledge. If it suddenly vanished, it could be linked with end-time signs. The Tower of Babel. Genesis 11:4-9. When the whole world was united in one language and began building the tower, God confused their language and scattered them. The internet is today's Tower of Babel, connecting all people. If God wills, He could take it away to once again confine humanity within its limits. The Mark of the Beast. Revelation 13. In the end times, no one will be able to buy or sell without the mark. Today, this mark seems connected with digital networks, online transactions, digital identity. If the internet disappears, perhaps it would also be part of God's plan to show humanity where true dependence lies: God versus technology. Message of peace. The internet also spreads lies, sin, and confusion. If it vanished, people might once again meet face to face, churches and communities would grow stronger, and the true essence of faith would re-emerge.